So, 3 years ago, Luckin Coffee did not exist in Singapore. Today, they have 80 outlets and counting in the island. So, Luckin touched down Singapore in March 2023. It was the first international destination that they were touching down. They are now there in US, Malaysia. And they opened two outlets, one in Marina Square, the other at Nagi End. And they had actually announced back in the time that they were gonna have a franchise model. But now they have all self-owned and self-operated stores. No middlemen, nothing. If you think about the growth curve of Luckin Coffee in Singapore, it is wild. Because in the last financial quarter of 2025, they had only 68 stores reported. But fast forward to today, they had gone over 80. Think about it. It's 13 to 14 stores opening in a single quarter in a country of just 6 million people and not very high landmass. The red dot is not visible on the world map, just by the way. And that's honestly a sprint. It is not expansion. And here's the crazy twist. They're actually losing money doing it. Reports point to around 8.8 million in losses in SGD for 2025 alone, and that is when they were opening stores everywhere. But they are actually trying to buy market share. They are not trying to lose the game. They are getting the market share with rock bottom pricing, app discounts, and they're thinking about the profitability angle later on. And that's exactly what they did in China about 5 years ago. So don't think that Luckin's actually doing well, hence they're coming up. They're kind of taking a risk. And well, they succeeded like that in China. And if we think about the coffee landscape in Singapore, it's a battlefield. Hawker centers everywhere. Starbucks, Coffee Bean Tea Leaf, Tim Hortons is also come in now, as well as local kopitiams, local hawker centers, etc. And in a crowded market, Luckin has just kind of changed the landscape of the coffee scape in Singapore. So now I'm gonna take a deep dive into the kind of outlets they have, where they are opening, the footfalls. Watch this video till the end if you're just curious to know how a brand went from being in bankruptcy to being one of the biggest coffee chains today in one of the most expensive islands, and they are expanding in other locations as well. So please watch and hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. So firstly, talking about the location of Luckin outlets, because these outlets have not been built randomly, they have actually been placed in certain areas extremely strategically. So firstly, if I talk about the Central Business District and Office Towers area in Singapore, I have literally felt like I have been seeing a Luckin sign after every 5 minutes. And these outlets actually open and close during the office timings. So they really attract everybody with white collar jobs who are running behind meetings and are ordering ahead on the Luckin app because, well, it is low friction, that app for real. I have another video on it that I'm gonna put on a playlist that I will put together. Then they are there in shopping malls and shopping areas within the heartlands. So Vivo City, Tampines, Parkway Parade, Katong, then also the ones in Jurong East and Westgate. And this actually does attract a plethora of people who are shopping and just want to fuel up quickly and conveniently with the app. Then they are there in abundance in transit and tourism hubs, and the one in Chinatown is actually beautiful. Then in Jewel Changi Airport, they have like a biggish cafe, which is the same as what it is in Chinatown actually. Then they have a lot towards Orchard Road as well. Then they of course there are departmental stores and anchor retail stores, Tank Plaza, Nagi End, and these are kiosk spaces where it is very easy for people to just grab and go coffee. And how could I not forget, they are present in educational institutes as well. So as an NTU student, we all knew how much fun it was to just walk to South Spine, grab a coffee, have it at South Spine food court, or just have fun. And then we've just got so attached to Luckin that I've started making a video on it. How crazy. And I've also done projects on Luckin. So you could say that the placement of these outlets, because say if you're in an office or in an educational institute, It's natural that you just get attached to that place because you're just taking it every day. And trust me, that's why I buy Luckin coffee every day, and so do my friends, and we give them business. Yeah, reality check. Yeah. So I'm gonna be talking about the potential footfall that Luckin relies on their different locations. So firstly, highest potential footfall outlets. This applies well for mall kiosks in high traffic corridors, transit hubs, Vivocity, Jewel Changi, Suntec City. These actually get good amount of crowd around the clock, and they work well because, well, people place the order on the app and just go pick, done. Then high but time concentrated footfalls. I think this is very relevant, especially the ones in CBD area, because I have observed Tanjong Pagar outlets, and if you notice them carefully, they have like an hour in the evening where they get extremely crowded, extremely packed, function very well again because of the app. Then even in the morning time, they get extremely crowded. I guess this could apply for educational institutes as well, because there are certain peak times of lots of classes. Then there are certain times when, say, examinations or holidays come up, and then there is lower footfall. Then there is moderate loyalty driven footfall. This could very well apply to shopping malls because these are like outlets with customers but not a lot and not like lots of crowds. So if even I've observed outlets saying I am Jurong East, they get crowd on like a consistent basis, maybe rise during the weekend, fall during the weekdays, but they do get moderate good amount of footfall, and because of which the seating areas in some of these outlets do work well. Then there is the niche anchor dependent footfall. So this could best apply to departmental stores, because say if the departmental store is crowded is when customers would come to Luckin Coffee and get coffee. And as you can see, the location does really affect the kind of people and orders that Luckin would get. So next up, I'm gonna be covering the different kind of outlet formats that Luckin has that has potentially led to their success, because they seem that they have strategized it very well to know where people want to sit, where people want to stand, where they want to grab stuff. So let's get it. So after some amount of research, I zeroed down the type of Luckin Coffee outlets into 4 main categories. So firstly, the pure takeaway kiosks. This is the smallest footprint, and this is visible at Tanks Plaza at Nagi, and it is simple. You just grab and go coffee, but you place the order on the app in advance, obviously, so that they make your coffee and they give it to you. Yeah, you can't just like run away with that coffee. Just saying. Then the full cafe with cell phone seating. There's a new one that has opened in Lucky Plaza as of now in Orchard. Then this is visible at Jewel Changi. The outlet is stunning. Just by the way, they have like a seating outside, they have a seating inside, they have books, their staff is amazing. Similarly, you will see something similar in Chinatown. And I love these particular cafes because you can literally do everything in them. And the third format that we see, I see this a lot in the Jurong East area, is this is West Singapore. This is the mall kiosk with shared or communal seating. So they have a kiosk, but they have some kind of seating around. These are also visible in the Tampines region actually, but the seating, they just have like seats, very few seats, like such few seats, like you wonder that why do they have such few seats? Why couldn't they make more seats? But anyway. Then the food court adjacent kiosk. This was there in South Spine in NTU. There's a kiosk of Luckin, and then there is food court seating where you can go and sip on your coffee and enjoy your life, and yeah, buy food also on the side. So in other words, I think Luckin Coffee has literally figured out a system and a model in Singapore where they cater to people with different needs, with different wants, and I feel that is absolutely brilliant and amazing. And that's probably how they will keep growing and going and serving great coffee to different people, coffee quickly and satisfy people's needs. They also have chocolate milk and milk in case you guys are with kids or don't take caffeine. They have constant new launches, etc. I'm gonna make another video of why I think the brand Luckin Coffee has done well, and not just this will go beyond what this video is about. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you soon. I'll be putting together a Luck and Coffee playlist soon because I've loved having Luck and Coffee in Singapore. It gives me good luck. So yeah, I have luck in my hand pretty much all the time in Singapore hands.